guys, today we're going to cover a couple of different quick topics on how to fix your credit for free. We have brought on a special guest. His name is David Covanda. He's been in the credit repair industry for 5 years now. He started with a very reputable company. We're not going to mention their name because we're not going to give them any free advertising, but he took a lot of his techniques from this company, and we definitely know that based off of some of these techniques, which I've seen you use with some of my clients, this would definitely be able to help you out. So take some notes. If you've got a pen and a piece of paper out, take some notes because we're going to go over some good stuff here. Now, because we only have 10 minutes, I'm going to have to get right into this, David.
Okay.
So we're gonna get going. All right. First off, I want to ask you a question because a lot of people, they hear the term thrown around very loosely, credit repair. How does credit repair work? What exactly is credit repair?
Well, Mark, first of all, let's paint a picture here. 79% of Americans have something on their credit report which does not belong to them. Mm-hmm. Okay, and how do we tackle that? How do we find out what that is? A lot of people pull their credit, but they don't know how to read credit reports.
Right.
Okay, credit repair is pretty much you're disputing the negative items, and you're actually cleaning up your credit because of a lot of factors that the 3 credit bureaus give to us.
Okay.
Okay. Now under the Fair Credit Reporting Act, which was established by Congress 10 years ago, it gives us, the consumers, the right to dispute these negative items. Now the question is, how do you do it? Okay.
All right.
Now, a lot of people try to fix their credit on their own, but there's certain ways to do it. And we aren't here to like sell you on like how we're going to do this and do this, do that. We're here to educate you.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, let me ask you this. Okay, so let's say I want to take on trying to fix my credit. Okay, so I decide, you know what, I'm going to do this. How long is it going to take me?
Well, that's a good question because it just varies on the individual. Most people, it takes normally 4 to 6 months, let's say.
Okay.
Okay. It just depends on how many negative items you have. Okay. And based on those negative items, how old they are. If they're 2 years old, if they're 6 months, if they're 6 years old, some states have statute of limitations. Okay. So those negative items have to fall off within a certain period. Okay.
So it's kind of going to depend on where you're at and who you are.
Exactly.
Okay. What is the fastest way? Let me give you kind of a situation here. As you know, I just bought a brand new vehicle.
Yeah, I saw it out there.
Yeah, thanks. It's my baby.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's say that somebody wants to go out and buy a big ticket item, like I did. Okay. If I want to see like a huge increase on my credit scores, because I know that if I get credit, I want to have the best score to get the best rate. How can I get like a huge improvement on my credit really quickly?
Okay, well, the number one thing that pops up in my head right now is going to be, okay, how many inquiries do you have? Because basically you just told me that you just went out and bought a car and they financed you, but we all know that when you go out and buy a car, they don't just pull your credit once. Sometimes they can pull it 10 times, 15 times in one day. And we know that when they pull your credit, it takes off a couple of points.
Wow.
Sometimes 3. It just depends on the circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
But that's 25 to 40 points that you lost in one day because they failed to mention, hey, we're going to pull it more than once.
I noticed that, because I check my scores regularly and I saw that my scores
dropped, right?
I didn't know why.
Yeah, but you can get those points back by disputing those inquiries off of your credit report.
Okay. And how long does something like that take?
That normally takes, normal items take about 30 days. Inquiries are really easy to take off the credit report, 2 to 3 weeks.
Wow, there you go. So if you're going to go buy a car, a house, anything big, before you do that, dispute those inquiries because
absolutely,
you need
yeah,
the most improvement, so the most bang for your buck right there, guys. You heard it here first. Okay, so we got the fastest way to repair our credit. Let's say that I want to maximize my credit score. Okay, I'm looking for the long-term type situation. If I wanted to have the 700, 800 FICO score for the rest of my life, what type of credit do I need to have to do that?
Okay, that's another excellent question that you're throwing at me. And basically, you want to deal with the big 3. Now, in the credit repair business, it's called the big 3 because you want to have 3 different trade lines on your credit report. Mm-hmm. And the first one, you're going to want credit cards. A lot of people don't want credit cards. Some people want too many. Okay, what's a good number of credit cards? 3 to 5. It shows flexibility. It shows credit worthiness. In this case, let's stick to 3. Okay? Now, on top of that, you want to have a car in your name. You want to have a car loan, which in your case you have. And then you also want to have a mortgage, where you're paying on like a monthly basis for your house. Okay. So those 3, that will maximize your credit potential every single month.
Okay, so having that type of a mixture is going to be kind of like the recipe for success.
That's going to maximize your credit potential.
That's interesting because I've never heard that before. What are some of the biggest factors? Like, I know that, like, everybody always says having the low balances is good, not having lates, inquiries, all these different things are really going to be weighing the most on your credit. Which one of those really weighs the most on your credit?
The number one factor that determines, how much your score dropped or went up, whatever the situation is late pays. Okay? If you can avoid late pays, then your score is going to maintain or it's going to go up. If you're late, 30 days late, 60 days late, so on, your score will drop. Okay, so you want to avoid being late on your credit cards, you want to avoid being late on your car loan, and you want to avoid being late on your mortgage. Now, they give us a grace period of 30 days. Let's say that your car loan is due on the 15th, and after like the 16th and so on, they slap you like a $30 late fee. Okay, that's not a 30-day late. 30 days from the day that it's due
is when you're late.
On that 31st day, that's when it's...
And that's when it's going to affect your...
That's when it's going to affect your credit report.
Okay, and I know we don't have a lot of time left, but I wanted to get into this really quickly because we're in Nevada, and a lot of people are in this situation with all the foreclosures out there. And I don't know if I promised you guys in the beginning. If I didn't, I'm sorry, but we're also going to have another video about this. Okay, foreclosure. Okay, how bad is that going to affect somebody's credit? Because I have people, and I know you mentioned earlier when we talked that you have people that are coming to you. They've got all this other debt, and they're saying, you know what, I'm thinking of just paying on all that other debt and letting my house go because the values have dropped and all this stuff. So how bad would that affect somebody's credit if they were to do that 2, 3, 4 years down the line?
Well, let's give an ideal situation where someone has a 720, okay, and they've been paying on everything, and then unfortunately they do lose their home, but they're still paying on their credit cards. They're still paying on their car loans, okay? Now, how much is it going to affect their credit? It's probably going to drop them about 120 points.
Wow.
Just
on the house.
Let's be realistic.
That's not as bad as I thought.
But another thing that's positive with that is that you have leverage. You have those other two, you have the car loan and then you have the credit cards, which is kind of keeping them
at an even keel.
Exactly. And so let's say that, out of the big 3, you lose one of them, you have 2 other things that are kind of, just keeping you up, and you're maintaining those payments. That's going to help you in the long run, because once your score gets destroyed because of a foreclosure, it's not going to keep on dropping.
Right, because it's already done.
Exactly. And then so after 2 years, let's say, of your credit report, or even a year having a foreclosure on there, it can be challenged. It can be taken off your credit report because the Fair Credit Reporting Act says anything negative can be disputed.
Guys, you heard it here first. If you're in a situation where you have a foreclosure or something like that that's on your record, do not pay some guy $2,000, $3,000 to try to get you out of the situation, or pay some bankruptcy attorney thousands of dollars to file bankruptcy. Before you do that, give us a call, and most definitely we could probably give you some free advice that will be able to help you out of the situation before it's too late. Thank you for joining us today. Again, you can contact us. If you look over on the side of the screen there, you have all of our contact information.
Thank you.
Thank you.